So then, obviously, you had your fruitful years at Tesla. One key thing, like I've watched a lot of your videos where you talk about your experience there, and especially in the years with all the, well, I mean, there's still loads of FUD around Tesla, like an abundance of it. But especially in that, I think you talked about this 5 year bracket around like the late teens, 2016, 2017, huge amounts of FUD, competition's constantly coming, there's no technology, the cars aren't what they're, well, they're not anything significant. So during that time, you obviously spoke about like where you was managing a team and trying to keep people motivated, and there was starting to be this fear within Tesla. What key skills have you seen now, looking back and reflecting? What are the keys there that helped maintain team morale, help keep people motivated, and help people on board with the mission, despite as soon as they left work, the news is just all around Tesla's going bankrupt, Tesla's falling apart. What key skills are there that you took away from that?
That's a great question. There is a couple. So the first one is that set aside the skills. I think if Tesla didn't have the overarching mission that it had, and if it didn't have Elon as a leader, I think the work that we did to keep morale would have been probably for nothing. Because ultimately, I think what kept people there was how sincere Elon was as a leader and how important the mission of the company was. And I don't think that's lost on people. I think a lot more people realize that and are passionate about that than we think. So that was number one. So that foundation was there. And then the second skill that we really had to harp on as leaders is like, let's separate noise from the signal, right? I mean, people talk about separating logic from just bullshit or, BS or whatever. Apologies for cursing there. But, the important thing is like, we have to really focus on what's factual. And so the metrics that we use is like, okay, so you're here today. Look at how many people were here 6 months ago. Look at how many people are here now. Did it grow? Yes. Okay. So that's one data point that tells you that the company is growing. We're hiring more people. Great. Look at 6 months ago. Look at how many lines we were shipping, how many parts we were shipping out of the warehouse. Look at it now. Is it more? Yes, it's like double. Okay, does that seem like a failing company to you? And then we'll have other metrics that we can show how the company is progressing. And the other thing we try to like tell folks is, if you go, and I'll sort of hit on this maybe at a different time, but when folks went home, we try to teach them how to separate the noise from what you're hearing. If somebody's just speaking about emotion and there's a title that's screaming something, what you really should do is click on the thing and do your own research to make sure to see if it lines up with the data that you have, right? And a lot of folks, most everyday folks, they don't have time to click on the freaking article and read the article and see what's going on. Because usually what happens is, and as a creator, this, creating titles, you're trying to make a title that's really enticing for somebody to click on it. But a lot of these news sites, they don't even care what the title says. They're like, I just want you to freaking click, So we try to teach folks to says, okay, like take the learnings you have at Tesla where you're really trying to be logical and you're trying to be really, really good at understanding what's going on. Take that same thing home. Don't just take the title for what it is. Click on it, read it, and then see if it lines up with what you're seeing. Because the body of the article is usually a lot more fair than the title. And there's usually a lot of things in there that are not as doom or as crazy as it seems. So take a little bit of time, take an extra 10 minutes. And then once people started doing that, they're like, yeah, this is like so blown out of proportion. Like it's obviously like, I don't know if it's on purpose, there's some money behind it, or it's like mass media is just terrible at doing their diligence. I don't know. But I think that was really, it's just letting people know that, hey, like the same skills that you've built in Tesla to understand logic and approach things logically, take that same exact thing when you go home and you look at stuff about Tesla. And if you have any questions, come to us. We'll be honest. If we think that something's going on, we're going to be honest with you. We're not going to tell you, hey, like we're hiding something. Like we can't do that. It's illegal. So I think, but having that foundation of Elon and Tesla as a mission, I think was probably 60 to 70%, honestly, probably more than 80%, to be completely honest, of the reason why people were able to navigate. And sometimes they didn't. Some people left, like some people did leave because they're like, well, I don't want to work at a company that's going to go under, or, it's just too much. Like literally it's too much. I'm here working 12 hours a day and I'm busting my ass, hard manual labor. And then I go home and I hear about how the company I work for sucks. Yeah. Like that's sucks, but it was a small minority of the team. And ultimately that made us stronger because it really bonded us together. We're like the group that survived, like, hey, we survived the freaking storm and we made it,
Yeah. Did a lot better off for it in the end as well.
Yes, so, for sure.